Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Dental Up Podcast, brought to you by Keating Dental Arts, a full-service, award-winning dental laboratory. Each week, you'll learn tips and techniques from real-world dentists, bringing you in-depth interviews, motivating stories, current events, and sports. Here's your host, Shaun Keating.
Hey everyone, Shaun here. Welcome to our 169th episode of the Dental Up Podcast. Man, that's amazing. Can't believe we've done that many so far. So that's awesome. Our guest this week graduated from the University of Louisville Dental School in 2001. His passion for CE and new cutting-edge technology ensures that his patients receive the most comprehensive and advanced dental care in the industry. Currently practicing from Lebanon, Tennessee, please welcome back Dr. Chadwick L. Williams, DMD. How's it going, Dr. Williams?
It's going great, Shaun. How are you going?
Oh, man, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for coming back on, dude. I know how busy, heck, you were just drilling and filling a couple minutes ago, and you jumping on in real quick here. I appreciate it, man. I love talking with you, and you're a great dentist, and you're just crushing it, dude. But how's it going with you? How you been lately?
I've been doing well, chasing kids and trying to keep the practice going at full speed ahead. And we just try to treat everybody the way we want to be treated, and that includes family, friends, and any patients that happen to walk through the door.
Oh, that's the way it should be, and I know that's how you do it. And man, you just got the most beautiful practice. I remember when you built that thing, and it just looks like a beautiful piece of architecture, man. I just love it when I see your picture. And we'll put your website up and stuff too, and you just got a beautiful family, your boys, your wife Betty, your boys Jonathan and Jackson. Man, those guys, I remember when they weren't even born, and then heck, they're getting big now. How old are those boys now? They're like 10 or 11, or?
Jonathan's 13, Jackson's 11.
Yeah, dang. That's time goes so fast, dude. I remember when we first met way back in Vegas at a Dental Town convention, like 2004 or something, and dang, it's just amazing how, fast time goes. But you've been doing work with us ever since, man. I can't thank you enough. You just crush it. You're doing all sorts of different kind of work, but it's just awesome. But hey, I always start off talking a little bit about sports, man. And how's your Tennessee Titans in football? You think you have a good year this year? Or it's
well, yeah, they are as unpredictable as any team in the NFL. I think that if Mariota stays healthy, I think that he'll do well this year. They picked up some key players in the off season. I think that they'll do well. But if Mariota's made of glass like he has been in previous years, I think we're in trouble.
No kidding. He was such a stud his first year or two, and then it kind of trailed off a little bit. But he's a very, very good athlete, and if he's healthy, man, he definitely he's one of the top tier quarterbacks for sure. It's just something. Gosh, I just remember way back with Peyton Manning, man.
Peyton Manning. He's a remarkable player, but he played hurt a lot, and he still won.
Yep.
The problem that we have with a whole lot of quarterbacks, not just Mariota right now, is if they get a little sprain or if they get a good bump or bruise, they want to sit out.
Yeah.
And it seems like if they're behind when they get that injury, they definitely end up on the bench where it's not their fault they lost.
Oh, I know. It's like even like Brett Favre and some of the studs back in the day, they played through it. And now you got these guys that are just, I'm going to sit on the bench and I'm feeling a little ache here and there, and I'm going to make $1 million for not even playing. But it's like back to college football, They're playing for the love of it, and that's why those games are great. But it's just something with the NFL. Our Rams did pretty good this last year, but it's like our quarterback. First half he was really good. The second half of the season he got pressure, and he's not the greatest quarterback. And I'm just hoping, they'll be able to protect him, and he'll have some time. But he's a young kid too. But he showed great signs of of greatness, throwing balls, unbelievable. And then he got a little rattled, and even in the Super Bowl, man, we couldn't score at 1 point. I mean, it was just kind of weird, but I love the football. It's coming up, man. August is preseason, and then it's back, but it just gives me a reason.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing to go get a pitcher of beer and pizza, go with the buddies down to the, the sports pub, and or in the house or whatever. It's almost more convenient in the home, looking at our big TVs and having the restroom right there. And it's like I think
we're 30 miles from downtown Nashville. I have 4 seats at the Titan Stadium, and to go there and feel the electric atmosphere is just absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, I bet, man. And my sister just moved to Nashville. I didn't know you were that close to that, man. 30 minutes. Yeah, in Lebanon, I thought you were over there in the Middle East or somewhere, wasn't it?
No, we're 30 miles direct east on 40 from downtown Nashville.
No kidding. Dude, I know. I think we talked last time about the chicken and stuff. Hot chicken and Nashville hots, or man.
It's became a national sensation, the Nashville hot chicken. The funny thing about that is when Kentucky Fried Chicken did their tour with their signature hot chicken, Nashville was the big city in America they skipped.
Really? I tried theirs at Kentucky Fried Chicken. It was horrible. I didn't like it that much, but I like, I think I ordered some. There's a thing called, or a company called Gold Belly, and you can get, Carnegie Deli's sandwiches, and you get Lou Malnati's pizza. It's just got all the best restaurants, and they ship the stuff overnight. But I got some Nashville hot, whatever, I forgot the name of it, and it kind of came in tinfoil, all set up, and it was like the best damn chicken. I freaking loved it, and it was already sauced up and everything else, and you just had to put it in the oven like at 350 for a little bit, but. Dang.
I bet it was either Hattie B's or Prince's hot chicken.
I think it was Hattie.
Original.
I think it was the Hattie B's or whatever. Oh, that's some good stuff. I'm gonna have to order up after this, baby. But even too,
no, just get on the plane and come to Nashville. It'll be my treat.
Dude, I have to. And you know what? Because we'll be going to see my sister and her husband and their children. They're kind of getting older. They're in college, just finished college, but yeah, they just moved out there a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of a trip. They the kids all done with college, and they just rented out the house and said, and my brother-in-law, he has like a waste disposal company, and it was getting all the registrations and all the hoops you had to jump through here in California with all their laws. He couldn't even, he had to change over all his trucks and all this stuff. And he said, I'm just going to move my company to Nashville. So he's opening up down there, and they're going to do good, I bet, but you always need to get
my number when my contract comes up. I like doing business with family.
Yeah, and that's it. He even had it to where he came and did our disposal here. Like you can go to any company you want, and instead of using what's mandated in the city, pay them, you can pay your own. And he saved us a lot of money and stuff. But you're always going to, it's one thing, recession proof, man. You're always going to need to get rid of the trash somewhere. So the trash man, he's Armenian too. It seems like there's a lot of Armenian waste disposal dudes. That's kind of crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, dude. So, all right, dude. Well, hey, let's go ahead and dental up, and let's talk again about your little college experience. Tell me a little bit about college and dental school, and some of the likes and not so much things you didn't like, if you could.
Well, I went to Morehead State University in Eastern Kentucky for undergrad, and obtained a chemistry degree. And you thought that I was the smartest kid around.
That's awesome.
Tried to get into med school. The MCAT just whipped me every time because I was stressed whenever I took the test. A friend talked me into taking the DAT, and turns out that I did absolutely phenomenal on it. I was scored a 21. Didn't know what the grading scale for it was. 21 sucks on the MCAT. So talked to a pre-dental advisor. He's like, you can go to dental school anywhere you want. Where you want to go? And I said, well, my brother's in med school at University of Louisville. Let me go there. So he picked up the phone and made it happen.
Okay.
So went to University of Louisville, and my intent was to go to the first year of dental school and transfer to med school. And after it was about, 6 or 8 months in, I thought, this dental school thing, it's all right. I think I like the teeth better than what I would like dealing with the rest of the body. So
exactly.
I stuck with it.
Unbelievable. That's great, dude. That's smart. You're smart. I know. I've seen that you got a degree in chemistry too, man. I mean, I couldn't even do chemistry in high school, man. I was like, what the heck? I was lighting things on fire.
Shaun, I've seen you do chemistry. I've seen you put a certain amount of whiskey with a certain amount of Coke.
Exactly. And it bubbled up, and it made my stomach hurt the next morning.
That's right. That's right.
Oh man, that's so cool. Well, tell me about on your journey when you got out of school. Did you start off associate? Tell me that, or you went straight and bought your practice?
I had a latex allergy that developed in dental school, and I had to go somewhere where it was latex free.
Oh, okay.
And there wasn't a whole lot of latex free practices in 2001. So I was either going to have to go in with a latex free dentist, or I was going to have to find my own practice that I could buy and afford. Being a young man straight out of school with no credit whatsoever, paid everything in cash. My parents were a school teacher and a coal miner. So to say that we were middle class would be, calling us rich the way that I felt.
Yeah.
Because mom and dad struggled and made sure that me and my brother had everything that we needed for school and whatnot. And they didn't splurge on much, but they didn't have a whole lot of money to help us get started in our professional lives.
No kidding.
So started in Clarksville, Tennessee, under the advisement of a retired orthodontist, and was going to put in a practice there. And every single bank told me, we would love to have you, but you have no credit. We could finance you quicker if you had bad credit.
No, jeez.
So, I kind of was a little, frustrated and depressed. So, I was thinking, hey, I'm going to have to move back to Louisville and live in the house that my parents own and kind of drop back and punt. So then the guy who owns Nashville Dental Incorporated calls me and says, hey, there's a dentist in Lebanon, Tennessee, quitting dentistry to become a fireman, and he needs somebody to run his practice for the next 5 months. Are you interested?
Hell yeah.
I said, yeah. I'll take it. He said, you have any questions? I said, where's Lebanon, Tennessee? I came to work for him. He compensated me well, better than a whole lot of my friends and other associateships were doing. And he had a small, off the beaten path, 3 operatory practice, 3 employees, and it was just barely chugging along.
Okay.
And he was this guy who would put a patch on an amalgam patch. He just hated dentistry, never really cared for it, wanted to be a fireman his whole life, and it was his last opportunity. So I was doing a whole lot of crowns because I had these monstrous amalgams that had been patched 2 or 3 times, and they had recurrent decay because amalgam don't really bond to amalgam.
Yeah.
So I was, I took his practice up probably 25% in the 5 months that I worked for him.
No kidding.
And at the end of the 5 months, I decided that he had, walked away from a gold mine. So I bought his practice.
No kidding.
And, if we fit together like a hand in a glove, I wanted in, he wanted out.
Oh,
so we agreed on a price, and I bought the little 3 operatory practice and, treated folks the way I wanted to be treated. I made myself available. My personal cell phone number was on my answer machine. And if somebody needed to be seen, I would come in and see them.
So
if it was an extraction on Saturday night at 2 a.m, I was there. Just wanted to be there and be everything to everybody. And as you get a little older and you get married and you have kids, you start thinking that you don't want to go out at 2 a.m. So I took my personal cell off the answer machine, bought another phone line, and put an emergency cell phone that either I or one of my dental assistants carry.
Okay.
And we're still available, but we are less likely to come out at 2 o'clock in the morning for free than what I used to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I learned my lesson of having my cell phone number on my answering machine right after Betty and I got married. Guy calls about 3 a.m. and says, Doc, you got to help me. I'm not a patient of yours, but I've got a terrible toothache. I need to be seen. I said, all right, I'll come in and see you. I can be there in about 20 minutes. And he's like, great. I said, let me get a little history. What's your name? What's your insurance? And how long has this tooth been hurting? man, it's been hurting like this for 6 weeks. I was like, 6 weeks? Why didn't you come in, in the last 6 weeks while the office is open? He's like, well, it wasn't convenient.
Oh, jeez.
I said, oh my God, do you think it's convenient for me to get out of bed at 3 a.m. to come and see you?
Oh, jeez. That's
so he basically said, screw you, and hung up on me.
Unbelievable.
So that kind of ruined my experience with having my cell phone number published on my answer machine.
I know, it's crazy. I have a friend his wife is a nurse, and she has to be on call 24/7 to come in emergencies, and and it's just, or certain days she has to be on call 24/7, and we're going out to the pizza parlor or whatever, and she can't have a drink or nothing, and it's just like, it's been like that for years and years, and it's just like, man, that's tough, but that's commitment to your job, for sure. But I wouldn't put myself on.
We got it.
Yeah,
that's where we in dentistry have it on the people in medicine. They take call, and they have to take call.
Yeah,
their employers, the hospital, whatever. You have to take call these certain days.
Yes.
Well, in dentistry, if I get off work and I want to go have a couple beers, that means I'm off call.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my decision.
Yep.
I can tell a patient, hey, I can't come and see you tonight. If you're hurting bad enough, go to the ER.
Yep.
I have an avenue to send them somewhere else. But for my own peace of mind, if I want to get off work and have a beer, then by all means, I'm going to do that.
Absolutely. No, that's what I say. It's just, you're 24/7, a lot of these doctors, man, and it's like, it'd just be tough working on people in pain or just having issues all the time. It's tough enough to be a dentist in the mouth. Imagine just day to day seeing these people that are always sick, and it's kind of the same thing in dentistry. You get guys coming in that I think it's different. I think a lot of times too, they're coming in, it's pain, but they're also coming in for cosmetics and look beautiful. And I think dentistry is just great in that aspect. I love doing those front teeth and rehabs and just change.
And my favorite thing is doing what I call the Hollywood 6 package. You get the 6 anterior teeth. If they're viable at all, I can make them look better.
Oh, heck yeah.
Just like the case that you and I recently did. A guy comes in, he's had porcelain fused metal crowns for 20, 30 years. He's got a touch of recession, so you can see the metal of the crowns.
Yep.
This guy is very public here in our town and just a super nice guy. And I run into him at a gas station one night, and he says, hey, can you fix this? And I said, sure. I said, come by the office, we'll talk about it. So he comes in, he says, what can we do here? So sit and talk to him about it. He says, all right, let's do it. So we prep his 6 anterior teeth, send the case out to you, get some temps made for him.
Yep.
And you make the crowns. And I'm telling you, I could have thrown those jokers in from across the room.
Awesome.
The cosmetics was perfect. The occlusion was perfect. The contacts were perfect. He is so happy that as he was walking out of the office the day that we put his crowns in, he saw one of his friends in the waiting room. His friend says, what are you doing here? He said, I just got a new smile. And he shows him. He's like, man, that's what I was going to ask Doc about when I saw him. So he comes back, and I sign him up for the exact same thing. He's coming in at the end of the month. Word of mouth is by far the best. The largest number of patients come in because their insurance has me on a list, and they say, hey, I know that guy because I follow his practice smile gallery on Facebook, or I see that he and his wife and their partners in the community have formed a charity called Dentists Give Back, and we give money, cash money to teachers to do whatever they please with in their classrooms, or they know me from being in my Rotary Club, or recently we have had a billboard for the past year, and I don't know if that has brought a whole lot of patients to me, but it has definitely given my friends a whole lot of ammunition to make fun of me.
You got your mug on there and everything, or what's it look like?
Oh yeah, it is a great billboard. My practice is Smile Gallery, and we have a logo that has a big smile in it, and it's got me on one side of the billboard, a picture that Betty took that was just a candid photo. And then she has our ad, our logo on the left side with our phone number and website. And then the smile comes off of the side of the billboard. And that's what catches the attention.
Really? That's awesome, dude. We got to pull that up. I want to see that. My guy's looking for it right now. That's so neat. I always wanted a billboard, man, just to say, what up, baby? No.
Well, Shaun, it only takes money, man. Just go ahead and do it.
I know, but it's like, well, I'm a dental lab, you know, the thousands of cars that go by is going to be 3 dentists, but it's just not, I always try
but
to
if you get those 3 dentist business, that'll pay for your billboard.
Oh, I know. Hey, and that's what, even too, I just do a lot of direct mail lately. I don't do the big dental journals. I used to always do pages in Dental Town and, you know, ADA News, and they're like 10 grand. And it's just tough, you know, after a while. So I just mail the heck out of like letters each month. And we got our own shipping department and our own thing that costs so much money that sorts your letters and does it all. And I'll send out 30,000 mailers a month, and 29,995 of them probably get thrown away, and I might get 3 or 4 doctors out of all that, or maybe 1. But if that dude does 1,000 a month, I mean, that's 12 grand a year. I mean, sometimes they do 2, 3 grand a month or 5. I mean, it's kind of a neat thing. It's just like fishing, you know. They don't call it catching, and same with the marketing. And it's just old school, you know, direct mail, but I find it better with the money I spend on that to get new dentists to try me than all the other money I was spending on all this stuff. And it's good to see your face and your company out there and brand yourself. But at the end of the day, I think the digital world is taking over there too. Everyone's going to your phone. And so we're trying to do all that Facebook and all that interweb stuff. I don't even know how good that works, but I mean, we're growing and everything else. So I think it's just a little bit of everything. I think the podcast helps. I mean, we've been doing this podcast since May 21st, 2015 is when we started these. And so it's like
very nice.
Long time, man. Every week we've had one. It's kind of cool, but it's just awesome to see the stories of all the different dentists throughout the nation and just what you guys go through. It's a tough business, but it's very rewarding. And I just love you. You got a big heart and everything else, and you treat people the way you want to be treated. And I think that shows for it. And I think in Tennessee, that part of Tennessee, they know Dr. Chadwick Williams. I love that name, Chadwick, man. How'd you get that name again? I haven't never heard of another guy named Chadwick, man. But I think it's pretty cool.
You just don't know it. My mother was she still is a huge Elvis Presley fan. And in 1974, Blue Hawaii came out, and his name was what in Blue Hawaii? Chadwick.
You're kidding.
I was born in 75. You do the math.
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mom.
No, it's very unique. I love him. I always call you Chadwick. What's up, Chadwick? That's so cool, dude. So tell me a little bit about your digital. You still got the same digital equipment? What do you got in the office? And tell me a little bit about your little gadgets.
The latest gadget that I bought, I guess, is the Omnicam. I bought it, say about a year ago.
Okay.
I already had the MCXL with our Blue Cam, so I didn't want the Omnicam. You know, here's a little plug for Sirona. I had a rep that said, "Hey, I need somebody to demo this Omnicam." They're wanting all the reps to have one demo at least. So he brings it to my office, and I was like, "Dude, I'll use it for a couple of weeks, but I have no desire to buy that."
Yeah.
So after 2 weeks, I bought that because it is
awesome. Yeah.
It was far superior, saved a ton of time over the Blue Cam.
Yeah.
And whenever I send you cases that I have taken on the Omnicam, it seems like that they come back and they require less adjustment than what the ones with the Blue Cam did.
That's so awesome.
So if you have listeners that are contemplating whether they want to upgrade their blue or red cams, if you're back that far, I would definitely go up at least to the Omnicam. I haven't demoed or saw the new one yet. I forget the name of it, but it is a good unit as well.
I think it's a Prime Scan, is it?
Prime Scan, that's it. As far as what I've read about it, it's not as as far superior to the Omnicam as the Omnicam was to the Blue Cam.
No kidding. That's amazing. Now, hey, they started it, man, chairside, and my hat's off to them, man. I embrace the doctors doing that. I mean, I'm still getting the hard cases, and I'm still getting some of the bridges from these guys and everything else, but I got a lot of CERT guys and a lot of guys that do chairside digital, but hats off, because I think they respect us more too. Once you start doing that in office and seeing what, a lot of moving parts, and, pucks can break, and, it just can have a miss mill, and, there's lots of things that could happen. But I just think it makes dentist practice better, because you're under such high magnification and just seeing everything blown up so much. But, it just turns out
when you're the one who has to make those margins meet,
yes,
and those contacts meet, and the occlusion right, you start thinking more about your prep.
Yeah,
and it has to make us as a profession better dentists, because we know what the laboratories have to deal with whenever we leave a big clump of enamel, on the distal buccal corner of number 15.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot more difficult for the lab, because it makes it a lot more difficult for us when we're trying to mill it with a CEREC.
Exactly. That's awesome though, man. It's come so far, everything. I love that. So what about at your practice, man? You think you're going to outgrow it? You're going to open up another one? What do you think? What's your idea going forward?
There for a long time, we toyed with the idea of getting a second location, maybe a third. There was a practice in a neighboring town that was coming up for sale, and we thought about purchasing it and getting an associate and whatnot. And what I realized is that right now I'm really comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I work 3.5 days per week.
Beautiful.
And my staff love that.
Yes, absolutely.
And Betty and I can go to lunch on Thursday. I don't work on Friday, so Friday is date day. If we're friends on Facebook, you can see where Betty and I go eat and explore on Fridays. And it's a real good thing for us. And if we were to open a second location, that's going to make us work harder, double our overhead, and I don't want to work that hard, and neither does she. So we're comfortable where we're at. We're successful, and we're busy. So I don't want to I don't want to fix it if it's not broken.
Oh, absolutely. And peace of mind, and that's even like with me, man. It's just I'm comfortable with where I'm at, and it's a neat thing. And you always got to push it, grow. And I've kind of just stepped back the last few years and say, you know what? We're going to have slow growth, because we want to have a regular life, and we want to be able to service our dentists and stuff properly, because there's always going to be dentists kind of falling off the bottom. A lot of guys are retiring, a lot of guys are getting chairside stuff. So we need to keep adding a few dentists here and there, because, our people are pretty loyal and stuff, but a lot of them, they do. They go chairside, and sometimes they'll go to those cheaper coupon labs and stuff like that. And I so it's just something we got to keep our growth, but I don't need to push that rock so hard that, I don't know. I think it's neat when you have controlled growth and just be able to live your life. It's like I've been doing this a long time, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't need to, I want to be, this big and this, that, and we're doing just fine. And it's just kind of neat. Just, we're in a groove here, and it's just kind of a neat thing. But hey, man, I know we got to wrap this up, but last question I got for you. I mean, what advice can you give some of our newer dentists just starting out? And, let us hear a little bit about that, if you could.
Well, if I were a new dentist, I would want to know that I had a dentist that I could listen to and trust. So look for that guy in your community. If it's the guy who has a successful practice and he is nice enough to tell you some nuggets, then listen to the nuggets. We don't come out of dental school knowing near as much as what we know.
Exactly.
And once you get the patient in the chair, you can't guarantee that they're going to stay in the chair. So you have to do something to retain that patient. And if you're nice to that patient and you're honest with that patient 100% of the time, whether it was your fault that crown margin was open or not, then you got to be honest that it's still your fault because the patient didn't make the crown.
Yes. Exactly.
If you see your own crown 6 months after you have seated at their next prophy and you see your own open margin, you have to be honest with the patient and replace it for free.
Yeah, absolutely.
And once you are honest with patients and you treat them the way that you would treat your mom if she was in the chair, other than not charging her, then they will come back. And when they come back, they'll be bringing friends and family.
Absolutely.
And that's the best thing is to try to do the absolute best work possible, which I think that everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us are a little more handsy than others, which is not a bad thing. Everybody has their niche, and if you're interested in doing surgeries and implants and whatnot, then make sure that you're as good as your specialist at doing it. And, know whenever you're not as good as your specialist, and don't be afraid to refer something out that you think that is just a little bit above your head, because the last thing you want to do is to fall in the hole and the water will go over your head.
Exactly. No, that's great advice, dude. Dr. Chadwick Williams, man, I love you, man. God bless you and your family. And
we love you too.
Oh, that's so cool, dude. And you know what? Now that I know you're 30 minutes from Nashville, we are definitely hooking up, because I want to go. I just want to go eat in that town. And I'll see my sister for an hour, and I say, okay, we're going into town, baby, because it's such a foodie destination. And heck, they just had something really big in the, I forgot what it was for a couple months back. It was maybe something with,
we had the NFL draft here.
Yeah, the NFL draft. And what a great, all the people. There's like 3 or 4 days, and they just turned
300,000 people came to Nashville, Tennessee for the NFL draft.
Oh, I'm telling you, when I seen that, I go, I'm going there. It just looked fun. It looked like a little Disneyland outside with restaurants. And I'm just a big music guy too. And give me a guy on a slide guitar, some blues or whatever, man. Damn.
Well, there's a different honky tonk everywhere in downtown Nashville. You will never go far without hearing live music.
Oh,
it is just a phenomenal town, and the food here has exploded. It has become such a foodie town. There's so many cool, eclectic restaurants that you can go to. Man, I'm telling you, it's no wonder that I'm overweight, because I love going down there and eating.
Hey, I'm with you, dude. I'm excited every day about, give us our daily bread, man. And I love it. I like that. My food. No, I just, it's just neat. It's a neat thing everywhere we go. You just see the different, places, and Nashville, never been there. And I just, that big NFL thing, like you said, it really just got me, and then my sister moving, and it's like one of the numbers. I think you guys in Austin, Texas, it's like everyone's moving to those areas, but I just think, no, that's really neat, man. Good job, dude.
They're estimating right now that 125 people per day is moving to Nashville.
You're kidding. Dang. That means more teeth, baby. We got
it is exploding, and then we've got the Nashville Predators here too. That they're in the top echelon of the NHL, and people who never knew anything about hockey. I always said that hockey was just soccer on ice. Has become a big thing here, and we're getting a new MLS stadium that's being built right now. So we're going to have an MLS team.
Oh, that's so cool.
The amenities and the things to do in Nashville, man, it's just great.
Oh, it totally is. And yeah, that's amazing. No, it is. It's a destination, and it's just something, it's exciting for them. Yeah. So good for you. And heck, you got to market into the Nashville area and get, your mailers or whatever, and pull them in from everywhere, man. Tennessee's a big place. That's awesome.
It's a big place, and we're getting tons and tons and tons of people from way out of state, like California, Washington, Oregon, Idaho. I don't know what you guys are doing wrong out there, but you're sure pushing people this way.
Yeah, it's just too expensive. I mean, I'm telling you that all the laws and taxes, and it's not very business friendly, but it's kind of just booming, and tech and everything else. But man, the single home basic price is like $700,000 in Orange County for the minimum. Prices. It averaged out to about $700,000. That's just so ridiculous. I mean, I remember buying my first home like $180,000, and that was a lot. I mean, 5 years before that, it was $90,000. Just everything keeps going up, and I feel for these younger kids, man. It's just tough, but yeah, I'm glad I'm at where I'm at. It'd be tough starting off again, man. I was like, what the heck? Gosh,
it'd been a nightmare to start off again. guys coming out of dental school right now, Shaun, they're coming out $400,000 and $500,000 and $600,000 in student debt.
I know.
And that's just ridiculous. Whenever the previous administration, I don't know if it was the Congress or the Senate or the presidency, who it was, but they took the cap off of federal lending. So the dental schools and med schools and other, some of the higher end colleges took their tuition through the roof.
Yeah.
So, I came out of dental school somewhere in the neighborhood of $250,000-$270,000 in student debt.
No kidding. That's still a lot. I mean, but yet now it's doubled from that. A lot of places. I mean, here we're hearing like USC, man, with on-site staying, it's like $600,000 for your dental program, man. That's a lot of money. And then
these guys getting out of dental school right now, there's no way that they can service that debt and start a practice or buy a practice.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason we have so many of the new graduates that are getting into the corporate dentistry, the Heartland dentistries, the Marquis, the Aspens, and they're getting pushed into a corner and they're having a hard time getting their debt paid to where they can get out on their own.
Exactly. No, it is. Unless you got a rich mommy or daddy or something, you're just going to have to bear down and, buckle up and just put your worker pants on because, you'll be getting 150 grand maybe, and you got all these bills. You think you're going to be able to buy a home and raise a family, and it's tough. It's just, but I think with everything like 10, 15 years in, if you can just put your nose to the grindstone, you probably get out of it about at 15 years, 20 and start making the money then. And that's kind of, I think with any business, I mean, I didn't make a cent my first 10 years in business. And that's what they say. If 1 to 10, you build it, 10 to 20, you enjoy it, and 20 to 30, you try to keep it on a business.
Yeah, try to keep it or try to retire one or the other.
Try to keep it or sell it, and, and try to make some money off it. But it's tough, man. I dread even.
The first 5 years out of dental school, I had my school loans paid off and my practice paid off.
Ah, dude, that's just awesome. It really is.
But I lived in a meager house. I drove a single cab Toyota Tacoma that had a salvage title. I didn't do anything super flashy. I took my money and I paid my debt. And whenever I got out of debt, that's whenever I bought a sports car and a bigger house. And then whenever I started having growing pains in my 3-operatory practice, I had to buy a building or build a building. So I built a building and we had 5,000 square feet of lease space. So it sat empty for the first few years because it finished in 2008 when the recession hit.
Yeah, exactly.
So right now we have one tenant. It's a live hospice. They're a great tenant. They're a great business. They do a great service for our community. And we've got a 2,000 square foot space that's still available that I'm hoping we'll get leased soon.
Yeah, a little business entrepreneur. That's how you do it, baby. They'll pay your whole nut. You get that other place rented out, and it's like.
Well, I was thinking that it might be a great place to put a Keating Dental Arts East location.
That's what I'm thinking, baby. We could pull in call it the KDA East Coast. Oh, that might be a neat, I'm thinking about opening up all over, man. Let's do it.
That's right.
Chadwick, I love you, man. Great podcast.
Shaun,
again.
I appreciate all you do.
No, we appreciate you, and we thank you for all the years, and I just love it, man. I love to see it rock and rolling. I love seeing you in all your places you eat on their Fridays. I love that. I work half day Friday, so me and my wife do date. We go to it's called the Irvine Spectrum, and we do it every Friday, man. We go over there, and we have a place called Wood Ranch, and it's like a barbecue place. We always eat there, and then we walk the whole spectrum, and then sometimes I stop at this little Chinese place called Capital, and Shannon will go over to the Nordstroms for a little bit, and I'll go in there and pull a lobster out of the tank and have my little surf, have my turf already. Then I'll have my, a 5-pound lobster. They just steam it for me. And I'm like, all right, Shannon. So, yeah, we double up on those Fridays. Kind of fun. I look forward. And that's tomorrow, baby. So,
yeah, that's tomorrow. Right now, my mom has my kids. So we're looking forward to our date day tomorrow. We don't have kids out of school that we have to please. And we can do whatever we want as long as we get home to let our dogs out in time.
Yeah.
But tomorrow we'll probably go downtown Nashville, walk around, maybe go to one of the malls, pick up some food, maybe even stop by one of the fresh markets and bring home something to cook for dinner.
Oh, that's it. That's what we do too, man. Sometimes we go to like to get a movie. They got a place called Sinopolis. It's freaking unbelievable. They got like lounger chairs, waiters come up to you, and you push a button and get your beers, and you watch these freaking movies. It's like unbelievable. It's like pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, life is good, man. Thank you,
That's
Lord.
Right. That's right.
All right.
He gives it to us all.
Yes, it is. All the glory goes to him, man. That's awesome. That is so cool, dude. Well, hey, great talking to you again. Thanks again for coming on the Dental Up podcast, and have a great day, Dr. Williams.
Thanks, Shaun. I appreciate it, brother.
All right, baby. We'll talk to you real soon.
All right. See ya.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Dental Up Podcast Show this week. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or search the Dental Up Podcast on iTunes for our weekly feed. Don't forget to visit KeatingDentalArts.com/promo for exclusive offers. Keating Dental Arts is a full-service dental laboratory, and we're nationwide. We'd love for you to send us a case so we can show you the Keating difference. If you dig what you heard, please leave a review on iTunes, and we'll be back next week.